All right. Sorry, I didn't have my voice on there. So let's just go back here. Let's talk about, as I said, just like a painter needs to understand the brushes, the paint, and the canvas, a designer needs to understand HTML and CSS. And if you look at job postings, probably about a third of them, of all graphic design jobs, require the applicant to really know just the basics of HTML and CSS. But it doesn't mean you're going to have to build a whole website from scratch. But if you know how to make minor fixes or modify a file, such as we're doing for our assignment, that could be a huge advantage. And it's really the small things that are going to help you stand out when there are 100 different applications or applicants that have the same graphic design skills when you're applying for a job. So what's going to make you stand out? How can learning these fundamentals take your design skills to the next level? Is it possible? Most definitely, right? As I said, a bit under 1/3 of all design jobs require the ideal candidate to know the basics of HTML. And some of them maybe even say they want a little bit more, but it's really the basics. And really, that's the new reality of the marketplace. And again, it's the small things that are going to make you stand out over those, hundreds of other applicants for that same job. And which means countless doors and job opportunities are going to open for you if you have this basic understanding of HTML. How can this knowledge be an investment in job security? How can it make you a valuable asset to your company? Is that possible? You think about it. In terms of the foreseeable future in the design industry, internet online marketing is definitely not going to go away, which means the time you invest in learning this new skill is definitely going to put you in a position to produce work that definitely is going to be sought after or highly valued by employers and even a potential client. In fact, sometimes some employers, not all, but some employers, because these skills are in high demand, and if you have a basic understanding and you're hired, some employers even will help you increase your skills. They'll even provide time or even pay for you to take other classes, etc., to develop them. So it's really cool, but you have to have that basic understanding first, because that does show some commitment on your end. And then we come into the other side. So what are some reasons that designers, they kind of resist learning just the basic HTML, the basic CSS? What would you say some reasons are? One would be, okay, remember the codes, okay, it could be difficult, correct? Some could be just saying, I'm not convinced it's worth the investment of my time. So just like you said, Don, remember the codes, right? So you're intimidated by the idea that, maybe it's just too difficult to learn code. So very good. Or maybe I'm not sure where to begin on how to get started. But it's really important that, investing in the skill is very, very important. Some of you, some think that, if I invest in this skill, it might take away from getting better at the skills I already have. Is that true? If I invest in this skill, it's going to take away from just learning the time I could be learning other skills. That's not true. It does, unfortunately, it's going to leave you vulnerable in the job market if you don't have this basic skill. So you learn this skill, and it's not going to diminish the skills you've already spent this time learning or you've spent developing. If anything, it could enhance them. It could allow you to combine them in interesting ways, which I'm going to demonstrate tomorrow. I'm gonna show you how this can also be a learning exercise in applying the principles of design. Defining visual hierarchy, even looking at a focal point. Things we've talked about this mod. Can this basic skill demonstrate to a future client, a potential employer, that you have strong problem-solving skills, you have, attention to detail, critical thinking skills? What would you say? It is definitely, it's important for every designer to focus on learning our specific software, right? Technological skills. But if you don't use, or without using, critical thinking skills to solve that design problem at hand, then unfortunately other important design skills get lost along the way, right? Principles of design can get lost along the way. Remember, I gave everyone the magic formula that is used for not only this project, it can be used for any future project you have. But as we throughout your career, you always have to keep up with the latest, the greatest, the newest technologies. You have to be willing, this is really important, you have to be willing to try new things, right? XD was something new. You had to be willing to learn how to try it. You had to keep learning about everything that goes on in your career field, right? Why is HTML important for me? So it's very important that in order to become a very well-rounded designer, there are specific skills necessary that you're going to need to advance in your career. And just if we take HTML, understanding basic HTML and CSS is definitely going to be an investment in your job security. Would you agree? And it's really very, very easy, as I'm going to demonstrate here shortly. So let's talk about understanding the magic. HTML, and you're familiar with it, Donta, right? So it's very simple. It's just a text-based markup language. It's very easy to learn, and any device that has a web browser reads it, right? It's the HTML's simplicity definitely makes it incredibly easy for any creative professional to learn and use. So HTML is the, Donta says, a hypertext markup language. It is the language that powers the web. It's used to describe the content's meaning. And every web page requires at least some HTML, right? It provides the basic structure for the web page. And it wouldn't be a web page without it. So it's important to understand that HTML does not define, it's not defining how the content's going to appear. It's not going to define that it's going to be 90 pixels in Helvetica and bold. That's the role of CSS. So what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And cascading style sheets are used to describe the design of the HTML text document. So they're used to visually control how the content and the web page formatting will look like, right? That could be visual effects, gradients, rounded corners, drop shadows, colored boxes, etc. So when the style sheet is applied to, multiple pages in the website, it makes those pages more consistent. And as a creative professional, when you're working in the design industry, again, it's so important that you have a basic understanding of HTML and CSS coding. Just having that basic understanding to modify a file, a website can definitely be a big difference in your career. Definitely you'll become a better designer, you'll become a valued employee, that's for sure. If you just have this basic understanding of why HTML, why CSS is used. How do they restrict or expand your ability to bring your ideas to life, right? The more you know, the more job opportunities are definitely going to open up for you. So you have to keep in mind that just understanding these, this basic, this web paging building block and how it's used is really a skill that's always going to be useful. So let's talk about what is HTML. And I know many students feel intimidated about HTML. Just learning it could be, they might feel intimidated. But think about this. You likely felt the same way the first time you launched InDesign, the first time you launched Illustrator, Photoshop, XD this mod. Right? There's that intimidation factor. So the first thing you should know that it's impossible to create a website without HTML. So the HTML file is going to include the text that the user sees in the browser. And again, it's not going to contain the formatting like bold, italics. It's not like you would see the formatting, text in InDesign, for instance. So the HTML is it's our markup language that, it's just really that structured language that lets us identify common sections of a web page. The common sections would be like headings, paragraphs, right? Our body copy that could define different sections of our page. So it's the building blocks of web content. So it's very important that you understand that web pages are simply text-based documents. Text-based documents, I'm going to demonstrate that here shortly, that use HTML, and the HTML is just telling the web browser, whether it's Firefox, Chrome, Safari, whatever the case may be, how to display the content document. So the browser then is going to interpret the HTML, it displays the results. And the cool thing about it is that it hides the actual, the markup. So the user doesn't see that. So let's take a news story, for example. If you're looking at a news story, you go to CNN, you look at a news story, or MSN, or whatever the case may be. An article would have a headline, some paragraphs of text, maybe some subheadings, right, and some pictures. Very, very simple. So the HTML explains the structure of that document. So you now know that our web page is just a text file. It's just marked up by HTML codes that tell the browser how to display the text, right? Is it going to be displayed as a heading? Is it going to be displayed as a paragraph? That leads us to the next question. Is HTML easy? Definitely. HTML is definitely very, very easy to learn. And here's the great news. This is the best part. No experience necessary. So we do not have to know anything about HTML programming. And HTML is great for several reasons. It uses plain text, right? If we have a Mac PC, it works on both. Again, it describes what the document means. So as we discussed, HTML is not designed, or it's not going to indicate how the elements look, bold, italic, etc. Right? It's just about describing the meaning of the various elements, and it's very easy to write. But it's important that we understand, or it's essential to understand, the building blocks. So HTML file has two main parts. It has heading. So the head elements contain the title of a web document, The header is used to contain the content that appears at the top of every page on your website. So that could be the logo, a tagline, a search prompt, possibly a navigational menu. And then we have the body. So the body element contains the primary content or the information you want to display on a web page. So the HTML is based on tags. Okay, so, or tag would be, you could say it's a hidden keyword. And all that tag is doing, the tag is providing instructions to format the document. Tags are, we have opening tag and we have a closing tag. That's it. I'm going to demonstrate this here shortly. So I am going to just use a very simple text editor called TextMate. We're not doing this one, but for this demonstration, I'm going to use it. And so HTML it's a text document. So you can have an extension of, a basic text document is just TXT, right? It has, it would have the name of the document and then the extension would be TXT. So there's no difference between a text file with the extension TXT or an extension of HTML. So for example, I'm just going to change this to be, this is untitled text. And I'm going to save this. Let me just get a space in there. So I'm going to come up here and actually what I want to do is, let's just make this a little bit larger so you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to save as, and I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm just going to save it as, you can see right here, untitled text with the TXT extension. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Finder and I'm going to take that same untitled TXT and I'm going to drop it into the browser up here. There we go. Look at that. This is an untitled text. This is untitled text. You can see that. So I just drag it so you can see it's a text file. So now let's change this and untitled text file saved as HTML. Okay, so now I'm going to change this again. I'm going to file, I'm going to save as, and this one I'm just going to give the extension HTML and save it. And again, we're going to come back up to, you can see here's the file. I'm just going to drag this up to here. There we go. This is an untitled text file saved as HTML. There's no difference. So it's a basic text file that contains no formatting. The CSS file, or cascading style sheets, is going to apply the formatting. So as we just discussed, HTML is composed of tags. And that's just a way of describing the content, such as a header, paragraph, our body copy. So one of the best ways that you can visualize this is, and to help you understand the tags is, let's see them in action. So with HTML, the key thing to remember is that you must add the tags. You have to add the tags to structure the document, right? Not how you want it to be formatted, but how you want it to be presented. Do you want it to be a heading, etc.? So, again, for example, what part of the document is going to be a heading, what parts are going to be paragraph, etc. And this is very, very important. Every tag comes with a beginning and an end tag. So a tag starts with a less than sign. So we have a less than sign. So there's my opening tag. and a greater than sign. And it ends with a less than sign, a forward slash, and a greater than sign. So let's put this into play here. Let's just take this, and what I'm going to do is, let's just do something simple as, let's make this a tag that's a heading. So headings come in, for a heading, there's really 6 levels of headings. So that would be anywhere from H1 to H6. So let's just make this heading 1. Okay, so I have less than tag. I type in H1. There's a begin. So this is saying, okay, this is going to be a heading 1. Heading 1 is the largest. So if we think of visual hierarchy, and I'm going to type in, hello everyone. Welcome to week 4. And then to close this tag, I then add that slash H1, it closes it out. And let's save this. So file and save as. Again, I'm just going to save it as this HTML. Next time I won't do a save as, I'll just do a save. And let's come in here and refresh this. There we go, look at that. Hello everyone, welcome to week 4. Kind of cool. So this is the beginning and this is the end. So the beginning of the heading of H1 is the heading, that's the end. So you can see that the text is just kind of sandwiched between an opening and a closing tag. That's it. Right, the head, it's larger, it's bolder than it was before because it's formatted with an H1 heading tag, and that means the browser now knows how to interpret it. So the tag is the key. And again, you can see right here, if I'm the user, I don't see the tags. That's really cool too. Also notice that there's not a specific typeface assigned, and that's where the CSS is going to come into play. It's going to take care of that. So for instance, if I wanted this to be 90 pixels or 76 pixels, whatever the case may be, and I wanted it to be displayed in Helvetica bold, the CSS defines that. So now let's go into adding some other tags here. What if I want to add some smaller text? So I'm going to hit the return key. I move down to the next line. You can see I'm on line 2. And let's do P. So P stands for paragraph. Again, we know the opening and closing tag. So the P stands for, I should spell this correctly, stands for paragraph. And we close it. There we go. Let's correct that. And if I save this, I can just hit Command S and we refresh this. There we go, look at that. So can you see the difference in the size? So look at the difference in the size. Again, we'd style this using the CSS or the cascading style sheets. So again, every tag in HTML has an opening and a closing tag. Very cool. Now, let's look at some other headings here. So as I said before, it consists of 6 headings. H1, let's do H2. So, heading 2. This is heading 2, and we'll just H2, there we go. And I'm going to save a little bit of time here. I think what I'm going to do is, actually, no, let's just come back. Let's just save this here really quick. Let's refresh this. And there we go. Can you see the difference? What would it look like if it was H3? And we close it. And we can save this, and I will refresh and look at the difference. Very cool. Let's look at some other ones here. Let's go to H4. And we close H4. And let's just do some other ones here. H5. And we close it, H5. And we will add one more, which I said was 6. So we go to 6, and we'll just add this right in here, H6. Let's put in, let's spell correctly. There are actually 6 levels. Of headings from H1 to H6. And we close, we know how to close with a slash, H6. And of course, we will save this. We refresh, and look at that. You can see the difference in sizes. That's hierarchy. Would you agree? So pretty simple from what I've just demonstrated. What would you say? Pretty simple? Most definitely. All right. And finally, let's jump over here into understanding the cascading style sheets. We'll be going over this more tomorrow, but in our assignment. And as I said earlier, the cascading style sheets are going to allow you to specify styles for the visual elements of the website. So the CSS files, though, just like the HTML files, are text files. So it's very important that you think of HTML as the content of the website, right? A bunch of text, and the CSS is the design of the website, right? It targets those tags that we wrote in HTML, and it applies a style. Whether it's going to be, the heading one's going to be in, 96 pixels, Helvetica, bold, and green. Maybe it would assign the color of a background, a number of different things. And we're going to explore CSS styles more in depth tomorrow when we complete the assignment. So, but you have to keep those two things separate. That's the key to understanding, or just being able to, understand the web design. So just keep that in mind. Any questions on that? Any questions? All right, fantastic. So now I'm going to stop this, and we're going to go back into the assignment. Actually, we'll just keep this up here. I'm just going to go back into the assignment here. And let's go into back into the assignment, and let's talk about this assignment. You need to download the HTML file. I click and I can download this file. I can say where I want to drop it at. I'm going to put it in my weekly folder. I will save that. And then that should be in my folder here. It's a zip file. Let's unzip that. And then you can see there's the HTML and there's the CSS style sheet right there. That's the file. We're going to be modifying this one right here tomorrow. But you need to download that first. Then, so we've been given that HTML template to work with. And we're going to use CodePen to modify that. So CodePen, right here, we can go to CodePen and we can create an account. It is free. So CodePen is an online code editor, kind of like what you saw me working with TextMate. But it allows us to write the code in the browser, and it allows us to see the results of it as we build it. Right? What you see is what you get. You also have some inspiration. You can have pens, all the, there's pens, there's projects from other designers are always going to be displayed on this home page. There's going to be some articles. Over here, you can look up popular, you can look up or find topics. But, pens are, great for inspiration. It's also a great way to learn. So you can search through different pens that can improve your workflow. I can search for, let's see if there's some kind of announcement here. Maybe there's something for an announcement. Okay, so look, so here they are. Right, just some things, and then you can look at, you can see the coding, etc. So I can click on this one, and I can see the HTML and the CSS. Kind of cool. But again, it can help you improve your work, help you improve your knowledge of HTML and CSS. Really cool. So how do we create an account? The first thing we need to do is, actually, I'm going to stay right here really quick. You're going to come up here and sign up. It's self-explanatory. So to sign up, once you sign up, it's going to take you to this screen right here. You get to sign up. You can sign up using Twitter, GitHub, Facebook, email. I would advise you to sign up with email. That would be my recommended choice. You add your name. You get to choose a username. You add your email address. And of course, you come up with your own password. And then we submit. Very, very simple. Next, after you submit, you're going to be taken to an options screen. As it says, everything here is optional. You can fill in a location of where you're at. However, once you fill this in, and if you hit the return key, it takes you to another page. It'll take you to a new screen. So if you want to fill in this section right here, then just after you've done filling this in, move down to here. So this section, you could add, just talks more, you can add a little bit more about you, right? It'd be a great spot. You could add credentials, for example, whatever you want. These links right here are really beneficial. You could add, for example, you could add your Behance account down here if you wanted to. A LinkedIn account, your LinkedIn link if you want to. You can also, down here, are you for hire? You can also turn this to yes. So you can activate are you for hire, this button right here. CodePen is just like Behance is. CodePen is a great networking tool for you all. So it's a great opportunity. So I would take advantage of that. And then once you're finished creating your bio, if you want, you can actually add upload a new avatar picture if you want to. And then once you're done, you just hit the save and continue. And that takes you to once we hit the save and continue, that'll take you to this pen editor. It's a tour box. You can, say, no, I'd rather not take the tour right now. You can say, let's go. It's not very long. It's a great resource, so it kind of gets you familiar with what's going on with CodePen. So very, very cool. Any questions on what we've went over today? I'm going to go over this again tomorrow along with the web hosting for students account, just so everyone hopefully is up to speed. All right, so what does the assignment look like to you this week? Pretty simple. Must be pretty simple. Yeah, it's going to be very, very simple. Also, if you have not completed the week 3 assignment or the assessment, please get that in. That should really, the assessment, it doesn't take as long as, say, for example, week 2 did, or even week 1. It kind of, week 1 was where we really put in all the work. Week 2 had some revisions, of course. Week 3, where you were just finalizing it, you were just fine-tuning it, that attention to detail, craftsmanship, etc. There are some very short videos on how to accomplish each section of the assignment. That would be from creating the symbols, the asset, or using the assets panel to create the color. I demonstrated how to use Adobe Color to use that for your color theme, and also the character styles. So it's really just defining those 3 required elements. And also one thing that I just want to look at one more time, or I want you to look at, is that is, and I pointed this out back in week 3, but that really is a lot of points that you lose for not doing those, for not creating a color palette, for not creating the character styles, or creating symbols. That's a possibility of 45 points that you lose. And then if we're not adding the interactivity to it, that's 20 points that's gone. So if by chance that you did not do that and it did affect your grade, I did put a comment in there that please go back in and resubmit the assignment with that part completed of this, that is required. So you can still go back in and do that, as well as any of the other assignments too. So if there are some other assignments, I hope everyone's reading your feedback. We've talked about that as well. But if there's any comments in there that that say, please resubmit to improve your grade, please do that. You'll have the time this week, because week 4 isn't that time consuming for everyone. Unless you're behind, of course. Unfortunately, we don't. But again, I'll be sending out to some of you will receive an update where you're at in the course. So please, follow through with that. It'll give you exactly what assignments are missing, where you stand, how many more points you need to pass the course. I want everyone to pass. So please take care of that. And then also, don't forget, you have the part of this week too, is you have that career integration quiz, which is an easy 15 points. Also, one other thing is that we have that survey. I know everyone does not like the survey, but the survey, what do you think the purpose of the survey is for? Is it to bash the instructor? Is it because you don't want to take the survey? What's it for? Does it serve a purpose other than to sometimes annoy you? Because it's to improve. Yeah, so it's, I would encourage everyone, we do read them, but it's mainly, if you like something that was done in the course, do that. The courses are always constantly being rewritten, etc., improved or tweaked or whatever. So if there's something you like in the course, maybe you comment on that. It's really not a negative effect, or it's not, like I said, it's not to bash the instructor, not only me or any of your other courses, but it's for, so like I said, because you don't want to take the quiz doesn't mean you give the instructor a bad rating, or it's not because you didn't get the grade you thought you deserved. The instructor gets a bad rating. So it's all about how to improve the course itself. So please take some time. Remember, the 1 is the lowest and the 10 is the highest. So sometimes students get those confused. But again, it's just all about improving your experience for online education. All right, with that being said, I do appreciate everyone's time. And tomorrow's live session is going to be at 9 o'clock. It's going to be shorter. It'll be in 2 sections, 2 recordings. We're going to do the HTML file as well as the web hosting for students account. We're going to set that up. I'm going to show you how to set that up. I'm going to show you how to upload the file. And again, that process takes a minimum of 15 minutes, or maximum, I should say, a maximum of 15 minutes to do. So, once you've got week 4 done, the assignment, the assessment's already done for you. So with that being said, if you can't make it, please watch the recorded session. A lot of great information in there, and I'm going to go through that assignment in great detail. So it's going to be as easy for you as I can make it. All right. With that being said, you all have a great day.